Well, I think, as a digital specialist agency, and obviously those specializations are going to be falling away, but as a digital-born agency, I think we were quite interestingly poised to understand how radio should go forward, because technology is transforming all of our media, and it's transforming the way we consume not only content but also media. And as a digital-born agency, Quirk is uniquely poised to understand that. So if you look at what's happening, technology is creating interactivity at all levels with all different kinds of media. So outdoor often has an interactive quality to it. So you had the British Airways billboard with a little kid pointing at as the plane went over, which used GPS and technology to make that thing come alive. The other interesting issue is that radio is the least accountable medium and digital is the most. So why not, if you have an understanding of digital media, why not use that understanding to try and bring more accountability to radio, to think about how you can make radio more interactive, more engaging, start getting data out of radio. Of course, being from an above-the-line background, I have a lot of experience in radio, and I've had a lot of radio briefs land on my desk, and I know what happens in the agency, and I know I had quite a good understanding of the problem, which is a complex one. Radio is very often the grudge purchase. It's the dutiful tick on the media plan. It's the kind of idea mule that has to bear the burden of the big idea, which is usually kind of some sort of image transfer from the TV ad. It's purchased, in 30-second increments. The deal is made by the time the creative person gets a brief on their desk. And you've got to put in the phone number, the T's and C's, and the web address, which includes www.I'veGotALovelyBunchOfCoconuts.com, which takes up a good 15 seconds, and you've got no time to create. There's no time for comic timing, there's no time for suspense, there's no time to set a scene. You're just rattling off a whole lot of information. I think radio is very often sold just as inventory, and it's understood in terms of frequency, and so it's all about getting the maximum number of flightings for your buck, and there's not enough thought about engagement. A million years ago when I was a kid, brands made content. So there was a program called Jet Jungle, which was sponsored by Jungle Oats, which my brother never missed an episode of, and there was Squad Cars. Brands created content. That's where soap operas came from in TV. Brands sponsored drama, and there's wonderful kind of opportunities for them to do that in radio as well. Well, it's problematic because not only has media moved out of the ad agencies so that the creative people don't get to talk to the media people, but they have separate relationships with the client. So there's no service level agreement between them, and so very often there's conflict. So the media agency comes in with an idea, actually, and the ad agency comes in with an idea, and they bump heads because they each have a separate relationship with the client. They're actually fighting for the same turf, and that doesn't help at all.
This winter, whether you're at home, work, or just relaxing, it's the perfect time to dipper Omar, dipper Omar, dipper Omar. Find the lucky Dipper Omar competition details on all Omar packs in store.
On this day, take time to feel the passion raging inside.
You're not going to break me.
Remember how that
Euro Hit 10 is here.
After hit.
After hit.
After hit. After hit.
After hit.
After hit.
The biggest hits. I'm gonna take this.
Someone once said, if talking doesn't work, torture will. So, yes, we kidnapped the chairman of the Creative Circle. Not because we wanted to, but because it was a necessary demonstration of the drastic need for the reinvention of South African radio advertising. It's not just that the average 30-second ad with an 8-second announcer can drive one insane. It's more an issue of the medium staying relevant in an ever-evolving marketing landscape. Technology has forced brands to change the way they speak to people. The successful ones don't have clients, they have friends. These friendships can't be bought with media spend and hard sell ads. They are earned by sharing experiences and stories that fit into lives, not traditional media plans. Think about it. Flash mobs become TV ads that are viewed purely online. There are no rules anymore. We wanted to make the point that radio is perfectly poised for this new era. Radio is the original social medium. It is and always has been a place where stories are told and communities formed. So why isn't it seen as a real personal platform for branded content? In partnership with Quirk, we engaged station managers, marketers, planners and creatives in an industry-wide multi-pronged conversation. Because what we needed was to make people fall in love with the medium again, to get excited about it again. And to do that, we didn't need an ad, we needed an intervention. This is how we put radio on the spot. It started with the perfect brief to 10 of the country's most innovative agencies and their bravest clients. Their task? To create content that engages, entertains, and rips up the radio rulebook. It could be anything, as long as it was not boring. After having had only 2 weeks to conceptualize, the agencies were summoned to Sonovision Studios. Part experimental space, part pressure test, they were only given an hour and a half to bring their ideas to life. These pilots would then go on to the next round. The judging panel from hell. We gathered 5 of the hardest hitters in the ad game to judge and tutor the teams before crafting their ideas for final recording. And so, after 4 weeks, 3 live activations, 5 events, and hundreds of interactions, we've ended up with 4 pieces of work that can only be described as brave new radio. Y&R Joburg uses a mixture of live radio and pre-recorded spots in their unusual road safety campaign.
So please don't let it go, 'cause you know it's the you we found. So please don't let it go.
If the siren made you nervous, it could mean that you're over the limit. Pull over to your nearest service station and call a friend. This message is brought to you by Caltex.
Foxb2 proposes a Twitter campaign that is executed in a collaborative on-air sound lab for Ster-Kinekor.
Hey, welcome back everyone. Now, as I'm sure you've all heard, Ster-Kinekor now have incredible Dolby digital surround sound in all of their theatres. So they've asked us, South Africa, the question, if you could hear any sound at a Ster-Kinekor theatre, what would it be? Well, today we have a tweet from @AndrewGill asking us what the sound of, listen to this, a confused zombie stumbling into a rotor blade at a fun fair would sound like. Sure, yeah, pretty crazy. So today we're going to create that sound live in studio. Very quiet in there, man. Are you guys all right? You okay?
Yeah, we're doing well, thanks. We got to a place where, yeah, I think we've done it. We've made the sound of a confused zombie stumbling into a rotor blade at a fun fair.
Awesome, let's hear it. Can't wait. Personally, I was hoping for a bit more, guys.
We ran out of vegetables to throw at the ceiling fan for a start.
Yeah, and it's not really scary. In fact, it's actually quite unscary.
Black River FC adds value to small businesses by allowing listeners to tweet in their radio briefs, which are then written, executed, and performed live in studio.
This ad for Tasty Rice may not be perfect. I'm not a mother. In fact, I'm not even a woman. Even the music is pretty bad. And the sound effect of bubbling rice on the stove is not great. But who needs a perfect ad when you can have rice that cooks perfectly every time? Tastic, perfect, every time.
And Draft FCB uses clever media buying to create the world's first intuitive radio ads for Lexus.
We could spend the next couple of seconds trying to explain to you how the adaptive front lights on the Lexus LS work. But we thought, why not show you? So, After this commercial, you're going to hear an ad from Old Mutual telling you about investments. Enjoy. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
My daughter became a professional musician at the age of 9, even if it was just for a day. Old Mutual took her to play with the Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra and let her live her dream of becoming a musician 15 years before it happens. I'm glad we started saving for her education early.
See? Told you.
And although we are now on the final leg of our journey, this is only the beginning. Innovation starts with someone doing it first. The final 4 ideas are a new point of reference. There to inspire media to sell radio differently, creatives to think about it differently, and for clients to say, I want something like that. Will it work? And who will the overall winner be? Watch the space and don't touch that dial.